You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes, people, what's poppin'? Welcome back to Football Therapy. Chelsea 3, Newcastle 2, a 5-goal thriller at the Stamford Bridge, at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. Heart Attack FC returned at the end there when Newcastle got a goal back in, I believe, the 90th minute, and we knew there was 6 minutes stoppage time. But Chelsea saw it out with their 3 goals from Palmer, Nico Jackson, and of course, Mykhailo Mudryk with a worldie. All massive positive stories in their own right in this game, as well as Malo Gusto. Chelsea, as always, showing their frailty, giving away goals. Both finishes, though, by the way, from Newcastle in Jacob Murphy and Alexander Isak was taken really well, which, yeah, we scored good goals, but it goes to show you that when you're not winning a game, you've got certain players that can score a goal like that. That's something that I want to grow into this Chelsea side. Let's just crank the light up a little bit. That's what I want to see. So welcome back to Chelsea. Welcome back to your complete breakdown of what is a good win for Chelsea that demonstrated both strengths and weaknesses of our game currently under Pochettino. We'll speak about player performances in this video. We'll speak about Raheem Sterling and that cross that he didn't make. Again, Mudryk, what Mudryk brings, why perhaps at times he isn't picked by Mauricio Pochettino. The development of Nico Jackson, the continuing brilliance of Cole Palmer. By the way, in the 6th minute, that opening goal, I believe that was the fastest goal we scored at Stamford Bridge for years. I heard years and years. I heard the commentary say, which was interesting. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you're feeling good, let me know by dropping a like. Of course, I always urge you guys to comment on the video. If you're yet to subscribe, hit the bell. If you do, let's go, baby. Right, so on the night, it was a sort of 4-2-3-1, but we did move into a 4-4-2 later on. First of all, Newcastle, I think they were coming off a win their last game. They've got a lot of their players back, but of course, they were missing Trippier. But Trippier's had a funny season on and off, but they still had De Bradford in goal. He was a good goalkeeper. You know, they had the players that played. Murphy scored a great goal. Isak scored a great goal. Gordon, Anderson, Almiron, Willock, Guimaraes, who got an assist. Miley, who's got, Longstaff. These are their, sort of first choice-ish players. Of course, they had Botman and Fabian Schär at the centre-back partnership. Livramento, I'll just say now while I remember it, of course, former academy player Livramento, didn't play in our first team, I believe. He was getting battered by the Chelsea players in the first half. They almost had a vendetta. I can't imagine they would have something to prove. He left Chelsea. Let's, really stick one on him. But he was getting mashed up. Probably nothing personal from coming from a Chelsea player. Maybe Chelsea, the coaching staff, identified Livramento as a dynamic attacking threat. So they were like, I don't know, kick his ass if we have the opportunity. Very interesting indeed. But the 4-3-3 from Newcastle. And of course, for Chelsea, we saw a 4-2-3-1, of course, the preferred formation for Big Poch. He had Petrovic in goal, first choice goalkeeper. Cucurella at left back, a far more defensive left back option than, of course, Ben Chilwell. And that makes sense when you're going to put all your play down the right-hand side because you've got Cole Palmer there. You can tighten up. And, of course, down the right-hand side, you've got Malo Gusto, who is a really dynamic attacking player. He gets back well. He's not like he just sits forward. But, Cucurella can tuck in a little bit more and afford to be a little bit more of a left centre-back style left back. Rarely he got forward. And that suited us really well, actually. The asymmetrical 4-2-3-1, that sort of becomes a de facto back three. We saw at the beginning of the season, it cooled off a little bit. Seems to have come back in with the reintroduction of Cucurella. And early doors, I don't want to go too early, but it looked like it worked. Both Chelsea's goals, I can't really speak too much for the Jacob Murphy one, but both, Newcastle's goals. The first one came from defensive silliness. We'll talk about that in a moment. Of course, we saw the midfield three of Fernandes, Caicedo, and Gallagher. It was very much a 4-2-3-1 with a double pivot being Caicedo and Fernandes, and Gallagher started in number 10, but if you look at his heat map, it's very left-sided dominant. Left-sided dominant? Is that a way of saying English? It was dominated on the left-hand side because we did go to a 4-4-2 formation. I think to get Raheem Sterling in the game more, but it sort of played out a little bit like that, so Gallagher stayed on the left a lot towards the end. Attackers, of course, Cold Palmer, Ballon d'Or, give it to him now, right winger. Nico Jackson up top and Raheem Sterling on the left. Yes, we will talk about him, boys and girls. Substitute appearances from Mudryk for the aforementioned Sterling, and Cassidy and Chukwuemeka coming back into the team. Really nice to see Chukwuemeka back, and Cassidy, of course. These guys are quite tall. I think Pochettino wanted to see out a result then. So how did this game go? Dude, 6th minute, the fastest goal we've scored at home for 1,000 years, apparently. Cole Palmer tries to shoot on goal. It's going wide, but Nico Jackson does a very deliberate flick, side heel flick, to score what is a lovely goal. Absolutely excellent goal, actually. Very, very happy indeed. It looked very nice. Is that his 10th Premier League goal or his 9th goal? I don't know. Either way, he's been very, very good, Nico Jackson. I think he was excellent in this game. We will talk about player performances in just a moment. Gordon actually goes off because of an injury. Jacob Murphy comes on in the 36th minute. Raheem Sterling gets booked, which is his second most notable thing he did in this game. Neither of them good. And, of course, just before half-time, we have a funny moment in front of goal. Disasi tries to clear it. The ball bounces. It goes to Trevoh Chalobah, who I should have mentioned is in the back line. I don't think I completed the back line when I was talking about the lineup. It was Chalobah and Disasi. Chalobah playing left centre-back as a right footer. He heads it into the path of Bruno Guimaraes, I think, who sets up Alexander Isak. I'm very mindful of criticising Chalobah because he's just come back from a season-long injury almost. And, yeah. And he's playing as a left centre-back, as a right footer. And, you know, he plays as a right back sometimes, not left centre-back. So, but then again, it's a poor move from him. He heads out. It's a poor clearance. And he basically serves it up to Guimaraes, who Alex gives it to Isak, who, by the way, finishes it amazingly. It's a great goal. It's a big boy finish. It's just what we're lacking sometimes from strikers. Like, okay, you're losing, you're not playing well. I'm going to take the ball and lash it in and just finish like a really good senior elite player. Of course, we've got Cole Palmer. Of course, we're going to have moments from Jackson and Mudryk. But, you know, this is the kind of reason why you think, do Chelsea need this senior sort of striker that just takes responsibility sometimes? And it's 1-1. We go into the break. I do my Instagram halftime show at Football Yannick, if you want to watch that or follow me there. Everyone's saying their own things, but generally, I'm quite pleased with the first half. Obviously, that scramble of poor defensive work that gave them Isak's goal, that was poor. But generally, I was like, yeah, we're looking good. We nearly scored a couple. Everything is great. And then in the 57th minute, Enzo Fernandez with another assist, by the way. I didn't really think about who got the assist there. Enzo Fernandez, quite a few goal contributions this season, which is they're starting to stack up a little bit, which is what we want to see from Enzo, which is great stuff throughout all competitions. Very pleased to see that. So yeah, Enzo getting the ball to Palmer. Palmer scoring from outside of the box is a great goal. Of course, 2 goal involvements here for Cole Palmer. Just incredible performance. He had moments that he was always available. He was, he was there when I think was Sterling should have crossed to him when he was through on goal. That was very poor. So he was always available in the right place. I mean, I could spend ages talking about Cole Palmer. He's just magnificent. He's Young Player of the Year. If anyone else wins it, it's an absolute disgrace. I think he's on like 27 goal involvements this season. So he's just mental. He's super good. He's incredible. We're ahead in the 57th minute. Changes are made by Newcastle. We, of course, bring off Sterling at the 71st minute. Petrovic and Caicedo get booked in around that time as well. Petrovic for wasting time. Caicedo for a transitional tackle. Yes, we're waiting to see Mudryk. He comes on, and within 5 minutes, I love how this has been gifted to Conor Gallagher as an assist. Because the ball goes to Conor Gallagher. It gets taken off his feet by Mudryk, who nutmegs the defender, dribbles it round, takes it around the keeper, and finishes. I think it bounces off a defender in the goal. It's not like the most direct finish, but take nothing away from Mykhailo Mudryk. That is a absolute beauty, my son. A wonderful goal. And I commented on the Chelsea official Instagram, amazing. Just we need to find a way to keep him involved in games, because he's done this a lot, Mudryk, just showing these moments and then just sort of drifts in games. He's got the talent. He must be the most frustrating player as a coach, because you see this ability. This is why we signed him. You see this raw ability, but the fact remains he's still super uncoached. But when you see this, be excited, because it's there, it's there, and we've got him for a long time, and he's young, and it's there basically. Remember like Vinicius Jr.'s first season. I know he even said this himself, Mudryk, but we'll talk about Mudryk a bit more in a second. A couple more changes. The defending for the Isak goal was poor from Chelsea, but I think the Murphy goal kind of comes out of nowhere. Comment down below if you think there was a poor run of player stuff we did wrong, but I think it was just a sort of really powerfully lashed goal that sort of came out of nowhere and made the final few minutes uncomfortable. Of course, we see Nico come off for Chukwuemeka, and we see Cassidy come on. Right, player performances. Petrovic got booked and conceded 2 goals. He's got a low who scored ranking, but I'm still very pleased with Petrovic. He's got a certain confidence about him. His ball playing ability is very calm, and in the Premier League, you need that. We know he can make good saves, and we know he's good at saving penalties. So he's not like Cole Palmer or Gusto or something, but he's pretty darn good, man. So, and the fact that you don't talk about him much, and the mainstream media doesn't talk about him much, is great. Disasi, probably the better of the 2 centre-backs on the day, but both of them messed up for the goal, but I think Chalobah comes off worse. Of course, again, the second goal, I don't think it's centre-back's problem, really. I'll be interested to watch it back really, really closely. But, yeah, I mean, defending holistically is the problem in this game for Chelsea, isn't it? Because the 3 goals were wicked, Cucurella, good. He was, oh yes, so Cucurella was, here we go. My memory's coming, it's all coming back to me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Cucurella takes the risk on the Murphy goal, doesn't it? He breaks the line to try and press, which actually works a lot of the time, this aggressive style of defending. Rather than setting back, you push against him, and the line is broken. And I think that's why the shot comes off. So that was poor from Cucurella, but generally I think he was good, considering he's been injured and he's just come back. I mean, I said in my preview, like, maybe he'll start, but I doubt he would do. Here he was, playing very well. He looks good. And say it quietly, but it kind of, in the way we still talk about James and Chilwell slightly differently. I know he was poor defensively there and that goal, but he's a good defender. He changes the way we can play because how we can defend the left-hand flank. And maybe in the same way, Pochettino thought, I'll have to play Levi Colwill at left-back if I want to play Mudryk as left-back. Do you know what I mean? He could probably think, no, start Mudryk on the left because I've got Cucurella back there. Something to ponder and think about. Malo Gusto. Look, if Cole Palmer didn't do what he did today, I might have been leaning away from Palmer towards Gusto as the signing of the season. I know technically we signed him the January before last, and we loaned him back, but Jesus Christ, this guy's good. Malo Gusto is so good. He's so good. And he was great today. I'm running out of compliments. Now, the midfield pivot of Caicedo and Enzo is an interesting one because Caicedo demonstrated these moments, as he often does, these tackles that he can do, quite Kante-esque. Of course, there's that clip of him that went round when he was in South America recently saying how he idolizes, wants to play like Kante. I think at the time Kante had just come to Chelsea. He can do those sort of telescopic leg tackles. He did a few today. Some good, some bad. But he showed, this is what I'm about, and this is why I can be, Chelsea CDM for a decade or more, or whatever. He did a bit of that, but he also got a yellow card, and he did show that he's 22 or whatever. He still showed his inexperience. Enzo had a terrible first half, I think. But then, of course, he got an assist, a genuine assist. Or was that that was the end of the first half, wasn't it? Beep, beep, beep. No, that was in the second half, early second half. So, yeah, he did have a much better second half, got an assist, and his passing was a lot better. But what a terrible first half that was from Fernandes. And he's shown that he can have stinkers lately. But he's also shown he's a really quality player in terms of passing. He can tackle. He's not fast in terms of tracking back, but his work rate is good. And of course he cares, and he's got that we've got a bit of hard man Argentina in him, which I like. And he's a born winner, so he should be able to develop and flourish with the gang over time. Gallagher, very good. I know I'm looking at who scored, given him assist. I'm not having that at all. I mean, if he gets it on the books for him, I'm very happy for him. But that was very much, he didn't even know that was being robbed by Mudryk. Palmer, amazing. I can't talk about Palmer anymore. Just incredible. Just he works hard, and he's just excellent. If Chelsea was better, he'd be getting more goals and assists, and he's got ridiculous amounts of goals and assists in this Chelsea team currently. So I think so anyway. Maybe the main character suits him a little bit more, and as we get better, he can't be the main character. But there's times when he's there to be passed to for a great chance, or if you made the run, he would have given you that assist. He would have got that assist. There's still elements of that at the moment, but he's amazing. I can't really say anything else about him. And then Jackson, bro, Nico Jackson. Very close to man of the match. It's those three, isn't it? Palmer, Jackson, and Gusto. I thought Jackson was incredible. Again, I don't want to be so like hyperbolic here, but we conceded those goals. That's not Jackson's fault. He works hard and tracks back. Jackson could have easily been a part of a 3-0 win here, in a very impressive performance where he scored a side heel flick goal, which would have been excellent, an excellent performance. I think he was great, man. He can play left wing, he can play down the middle, he can play in a 2-striker position. He cost 35 million quid or 30 million quid. Great signing. He will get better as Chelsea settle down. Superb. Of course, substitutes. Raheem Sterling. Yeah, let's talk about it. Look, I'm very mindful. I'm not a Sterling hater, although I do appreciate what he's trying to do. He's I've got on good authority. He's an incredible professional. He always stays fit, and he's really good around young players. He scored a lot of goals in his time. Had he looked up, and he would have been able to square that ball, but he'd have to have done it early. And I think once it's too late, he did the right thing to compose himself and set himself, but then he shoots it right at the goalkeeper or whatever, and he should do better. Oh no, he shoots it. No, to be honest, he shoots it to the right side of the goal, but Dan Burn comes in and blocks it. So if he scores that goal, no one cares. Do you know what I mean? But yes, I have not been in that position, running, advancing. I need to look closely if he's looking up and how easy it is to just, square it with either the outside of his right boot or hook his left foot around. I'm not so sure. But yes, regardless of that, I've said before I'd be totally fine for us to sell him in the summer if we can sell him. But despite his professionalism, and look, man, let's just be big boy business. You can see why Poch picks him sometimes in terms of he does what a coach tells him. He's been Guardiola'd for like freaking 7 or 8 years. He can understand. But at this point, even though Mudryk they're like opposites, aren't they? Aren't they like opposites? Like the way Sterling will do exactly what the coach wants and always presses and occupies space and knows the shape. Mudryk gets lost a little bit. But frick it, screw it. Like the season's kind of done in many ways. Just give the keys to Mudryk and develop. Get confident. I understand there's probably pressure to play 300k a week Sterling, and while he's being a professional and stuff, and see if you can get anything out of him, we're going to have Mudryk for a while. We're paying a lot for Sterling. Nonsense all that. We're playing for the future now. Look, I'm not giving Mudryk a free pass for the rest of the season. I've seen this guy float out of games and get lost. And even after that amazing goal he scored, he had moments where I was like, where's he going? Where's he going? Come back in the game, bro. So I do, but he will get better, Mudryk. The people who wrote him off was silly to do so. He'd had terrible games recently. Loads of people were slagging him off. I never did here in Football Therapy. I said, look, he is what he is. He's an incredible talent. He's just very raw and it will take time. And that was a demonstration today. So he was obviously the pick out of the subs. Chuck Wameka, I think I'm very excited. That touch to bring out of the sky. He's a silky baller. Very excited to see him back. Cassidy, got amongst it. Didn't really have a chance to do much else. And yeah, bro, good. Some people might be neggy about the goals. I'm going to choose to be positive. I thought it was an exciting game. And I'd obviously be miserable had we somehow conceded a stoppage time equaliser. But, it was a great hit from Murphy. Lashed out long range. Very powerful hit. Take that away, and it's a comfortable 3-1. Take the other goal away, and I'm happy. Take away loads of the goals this season, and we'd be top of the Premier League. I know it's hard, it's easy to say that, but it was that sort of moment of lethal, just, out of nowhere goal, and that's a 3-1 win for Chelsea with some amazing moments. Let me know what you think, though. Of course, loads of frailty still demonstrated in this game. Leave your comments down below. I'll be keen to read them. And keep it locked to Football Therapy videos every day. Turn the bell on when you subscribe. See you soon. Peace.